and welcome to In the Kitchen with Natasha. As Diwali is coming closer, I want to share with you guys my Barfi recipe. It's quick and it's simple and very delicious. So let's get started. So what you're going to need are a third of a teaspoon of ground elychee or cardamom powder, 2 pounds of powdered milk. I'm using Nido, you can use Klim, 2 tablespoons of Nestle cream, half a cup of pureed ginger, 2 tablespoons of ghee, 3 cups of granulated sugar, 2 cups of water, and a bottle of sprinkles. These are the sprinkles that I'm going to use. You also call them thousands. The balls are better than the long ones because the balls don't melt and get soft and mushy. So let's get started on making our barfi. Here I have my 2 pounds of milk. You also need an extra bowl and you need a sieve. What we're going to do with the sieve is, after we've mixed our milk mixture, you're going to pass it through the sieve. Okay, let's get started. First, you're going to add your sugar to your water and set aside because we're going to make a thick syrup with this later on. Next thing is you're going to add all your ingredients to your milk. So, elychee, your Nestle cream, your ginger, okay, that's it. And you're going to mix this until everything has incorporated throughout the milk, and keep mixing it until everything has dried out. So right now it's wet and it's sticky. You're going to keep mixing and mixing. You can use both hands until you feel no moisture. So it's completely dried. Okay, so once your milk is nice and dry, make sure your milk is nice and dry, because if it's not, it's just going to stick into the sieve and it's going to cause you a lot of trouble. So once your milk is nice and dry, you're going to pass it through the sieve. And this is how I do it. You just take a little bit, you put it in here, you take your hands and you're going to rub it against the sieve like so. And if you watch underneath, you're going to see it's going to come out. The reason for doing this is to take out any lumps, because you want a nice smooth barfi when you bite into it. So continue doing this until you've used up all of your milk, and I'll see you right back. Okay, so I just finished sifting all of my milk powder, and when you're sifting, what remains back in the sifter are the pieces of threads from the ginger. So just have a bowl handy one side and just throw it in, because every time you sift you're gonna get these. That's okay, the flavor is in the milk. So the next thing you want to do is you want to take your pot with your sugar water and put it up on the stove so it turns into a syrup. Okay, so I have my pot on medium high, and you're going to let the sugar melt and let the water and sugar thicken until it makes a nice thick syrup. Okay, so my syrup is almost finished. What you want to do is take a little bit of ghee. So this is the 2 tablespoons of ghee that I had you reserve, and you just want to take a little bit and you're going to grease your tray that you want to put your barfi in, or you want to make your barfi in. Right, once you've done this, set it aside. There I have my sprinkles. Right, set it aside, and You're still going to need this ghee, so leave it there. And you want to take the syrup off. It's nice and hot. Put the syrup aside. Let it just cool down a bit. Let that bubbling stop and let it cool down a bit, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, next step. Add your ghee into your milk. And you're going to add your syrup into this milk. Now be careful, do not add all. Let's just add about 1 cup and mix this. The ghee will melt with the hot syrup. You don't want to over add too much syrup that it gets so soft. Add some more. I know you're probably seeing lumps. It's not going to be lumpy, I promise you. Add a little more. You can check it with your hand to see if it needs more liquid. You want just enough liquid to help you form it so that it stays when you set it into the pan. So you can squeeze some in your hand and you see it's staying. So what I like to do is I like to use my hands to just combine it. And for me, I like the consistency of this. It's not too soft, it's not too wet, and it's not too dry. It's just perfect. I didn't use out all of my syrup. I have about 1/3 remaining in there. So let's move on to the next step. Okay, next step, pour your milk mixture onto a flat tray and spread out. Hands, and when you spread it out, make sure that it's evenly distributed so that it's the same thickness throughout. Okay, once you spread out your milk mixture evenly, you want to take a little bit of ghee and rub it into your hands, and you're going to press down on this to make it nice and smooth. Keep pressing, and by pressing you're going to get rid of all those lumps that you had before when you put in your sugar mixture. So keep doing this until everything is nice and smooth. Okay, so I just finished pressing down my milk mixture to make sure that it's fully compacted, and I know you see a lot of fingerprints in there, so to get rid of the fingerprints, what I do is I take my rolling pin, I grease it, and you just want to roll it over. Okay, so while your milk mixture, it's Barfi at this time, is nice and warm, you're going to take your sprinkles and you're going to sprinkle it over evenly. Okay, so this is what we call barfi. We want to allow this to cool completely, let that milk harden. The sprinkles would adhere to that warm milk and that ghee. And when it's finished, the next day, you want to take a pizza cutter, go one direction, and then you come back and go the other direction for how much squares you would like and for how big of a square you would like. And that's it. This is what we call barfi. So my barfi has cooled and hardened, and what I'm doing right now is I'm cutting it up into squares. Okay, so to get these out, I just use this small spatula. It has a very thin end and it's very flexible at the tip. And I go ahead and I just get it in there to loosen it up. Now it's always hard to get the first one out. Don't worry if the first one gives you trouble. So here you have it, barfi. Thank you for spending time with me, and I hope you enjoy this recipe for barfi. Let me know down below any questions or comments, and I will see you guys again next time. And for new viewers, I hope you guys like and subscribe. Thank you.